Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, yeah, I was just trying
Hello,
to share.
everybody. Welcome to the Simply Together show. It's the 12th of December. The sun is out a little bit. The sun is out a little bit. I think it's trying to fool us that it's not winter.
Oh, it's plastic.
Is it?
Plastic. That sun is. I've been out
It's
there
not
this
real.
morning.
The sun out
Oh,
there is not real.
it's not real.
It's not too cold and it's a little bit wet, but yeah.
Oh,
So, how you doing, Nikkei?
oh, I'm excited. I've been off work for
For
4 days.
show or for what?
Oh, always for the show. Always for the show. But I'm excited because I've got lots of energy. I've been off work for 4 whole days, not including the weekend. And
Oh, okay.
yes, and guess what I've been doing?
Cleaning your back, your man. No.
No, I've not been cleaning my girl cave. My girl cave will be the last thing. I have
Okay.
been decluttering. So
She's
I'm
been
very happy. Very happy. Yes.
fantastic.
So I
Where
think that
did you
will be
start?
so obviously I went on this event and I started accidentally on purpose one day because like something happened and I couldn't just put it back. I just thought, no, I can't put this back. So I did that one. So yeah, it's just been a few minutes here, a few minutes there, but I did do a big blitz on the drawers in my bedroom. And it's really good. And now all my jewelry is in a drawer. I have nothing
Fantastic.
on my dress on my well, the one that's a proper dressing table. I'm well happy.
Fantastic.
So
Well done.
that's
So
my Christmas present to me.
when you go, oh, I've just been to the shops and bought my Christmas present. But so when are you going back to work?
Tomorrow.
Right. Okay. Okay. Looking forward to that.
Oh, definitely.
So, so today we are going to be talking about self-care
At
and
Christmas.
primarily at Christmas, but it might actually make you think about what you need to do outside of Christmas
Mm.
anyway. So if you are listening to us, watching us today, let us know what self-care is for you. Do you look after yourself at Christmas? We've done a bit of a poll, or Nico's done a poll, so we'll go through that as well. But yes, self-care. What does that mean to you for Christmas then, Nico? What is self-care?
Well, it's kind of changed over the years, to be honest. Before I was that type of person. I wanted everything. I wanted to be there. I wanted to go everywhere, see everybody, do everything. And obviously, as you know, adult life starts adulting and all of that malarkey. And yeah, so eventually to me, really, it's just about doing what we want and without feeling guilty if it doesn't fit in with what other people necessarily may want. Now, to be fair, I'm quite charmed and blessed. Our little family kinks and stuff kind of manifested um, earlier on. And so they're not really even up for debate or consideration anymore. So what I would say for anybody that's having that there's family issues and stuff, I don't want it does get better because eventually it just does not come into consideration. But the first couple of years it can be hard, and you start reflecting, thinking, "Oh, maybe I was hard. Maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe it's this or that." But then, obviously, depending on the dynamics that anybody else is in, you begin to realize that actually you are the way you are meant to be, where you're meant to be, and yeah, you just go with it, and it's really good. So that is, yeah, because that's a big one. It's a big one. Remember, Dee asked that question not last week because I wasn't on last week, the week before when she'd been watching that other show on our TV,
Well, the other lunchtime show
the other
on
lunchtime show.
TV.
Yes. um, where they would say that, do you have to be friends and like your family, even if it's only just for Christmas or something like that? And I'm like, no, you don't have to.
But does that just take a couple of years, or does that take much more
I,
for
th-
those things to fall into place?
I think it depends on the mindset and the temerity of the people involved. Um, Obviously, if you have somebody, just for argument's sake, and that's only because I've been around somebody recently who like literally overthinks every little thing. Like you could give them a cup of tea and they're going to analyze the leaves and all of that malarkey. So obviously, that I think that person will take them longer because they don't want to offend. because they don't necessarily think about themselves. I think it just depends on how quickly you realize that you're not being selfish. You are entitled to feel the way you feel, and there is nothing wrong with it because you're actually not harming anybody. Even though the people that you're trying to avoid will probably say, "If you loved me."
Yeah.
So yeah, that for me is definitely at Christmas is definitely the big ones. But it was defining, and it's worked out fine.
People pleasing.
Yeah.
People pleasing, but also for some people, there's guilt.
Yes.
Around, I need to do this because that's what's expected of me. And if I don't do it, then I'm going to feel guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a real pull between what you do because of what you're expected to do and what you do, which is self-care.
Yeah.
And somebody recently said to me, Miss Bailey, why are you going to do that? Why are you putting yourself in that? And I've kind of then thought, why am I going to do that? Why am I going to do that? I'm not, actually. I'm not doing that.
Good.
There's a little bit of guilt, only a little bit, but then I'm going to let that go because I'm not doing it. So, yeah.
The first cut is the deepest, right?
Yes.
So, and God willing, there will be next year and next time and another holiday and another thing, and then eventually it will not be a thing. I think the thing is for people to get to that stage, because the question I always ask people is, okay, so you don't want to do this thing, but people are pressurizing you to do it, so you do it. So how do you feel when you've done it?
Like crap.
So that's the problem. But on that poll, I have one person come on and say, this was from somebody in Simply D's, said, getting as much in as possible.
But that sounds like hard work. That sounds like if you're getting as much in as possible, that sounds like you're not going to stop the whole of Christmas.
That could well be the case, because having said that, there was another one here. Hang on, let me just get it up. Right.
You got two phones?
I'm on my laptop today. Oh. And yes, I do have two phones because I am determined I will be that businesswoman. So I need two phones.
You will. 2024 is just around the corner, and then you can step up your game a bit.
Yeah, it says here, all right, spending time with family and friends, but most of all, having 3 days off in a row. I don't get 2 days off in a row all year without taking annual leave. So it's not the same person that said that, but it just kind of lends itself that, you know, if we work, well, okay, let's just park self-employed for a minute. But if you work in corporate world, you've got the annual leave, and how you spend it can be quite specific.
Yeah.
You're not, the only random days you get off are the weekend, which also could be quite specific. So to just have those 2 days or those 3 days off in a row that you were not expecting,
yeah,
I can imagine that you will cram everything in.
So was that the same person who said having the 3 days off, they're not going to, right, okay. So literally, it's also around what you need in your life, because this is self-care.
Yeah.
So the person who's going to cram in as much as they can, maybe that's what they want to do, because then they might see all the people they haven't seen all year. They might get to do different things. So maybe for them, cramming it all in works for them, and that could be their self-care.
Yeah.
The person who's got 3 days off is excited to have 3 days off because they don't normally get even 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Do women worry more than men about Christmas? Yes, I think they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yes.
100%, I would say. But then again, having said that, with the guys that I work with and stuff like that, well, I suppose no, they don't really worry. They just make sure they get the chores they've been given done. So, you know, go up in the attic, get the tree down, and stuff like that.
So they're not going to be worrying. The only worry they have is getting the chores done that they've been given.
Well, that's just my little example. Yeah.
The other person. Yeah. Why? Why is that? Why don't they worry? Because, and I'm not okay. So let me word this so that I'm not being sexist as such. Because that other person, their partner, for example, is going to deal with all that. So whether that is woman, whether that's a man, whether that's who, whatever gender you are, that other person is most probably the one that manages everything.
Yeah, actually, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Actually, when I really think about it, I'm not really sure whether it is a gender thing or not. I just think it depends on how individuals feel about Christmas.
Mm.
So, a few years ago, I used to go over to my brother's for Christmas, and at Christmas, that was the one time it was all the blokes did the cooking. So it was my brother, um, the nephews, the cousins, all of them. They did all of the cooking, and it just made me wonder: is that because you don't cook all the other time around of the year?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're cooking
But
once a
yeah,
year.
but the reason why I bring that point up is because that's the dynamic there in that family. But you could have that dynamic could be any way round.
That, yeah, you could have that. Yeah, that dynamic is dependent on
Yeah,
that relationship and
yeah,
how that actually works.
yeah,
This is a really good one. So, are any of the women worried about menopause during Christmas? Certain symptoms, i.e., brain fog, anxiety, hot flushes, if cooking must be heightened. So, you've got menopause, and then let's talk about menopause, and then I'm going to talk about fibromyalgia and Christmas. So,
yeah.
menopause, what is that like?
That is a really good question.
Going
That
like this.
Yes, there's that. But it's the brain fog that I want to um
Mhm.
focus on. I mean, obviously, for me personally, it's like I said, it's going to be just the two of us. But in my head, if you're doing a big Christmas dinner with lots of multitasking, so like for example, this morning, literally, I went in, I was cooking. What was I doing? I was cooking, and I went into the pantry to get the to get the milk, and I came back with a bottle of water. And I'm holding this bottle of water. And I'm thinking, well, why did I get this water? Um, it's not that I didn't need the water. The need for the water
Painful.
came up. So it is just that thing. And obviously, if you're cooking and you're like, oh yeah, let me quickly get that, and then you turn around and then the butter's burnt.
Mm. Yeah.
So um, it is stuff like I can 100%. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah,
I get
exactly.
things like that where you just go and then all of a sudden you're thinking, what? Why? What? I mean, yeah. So I think that could be quite anxious if they've got a lot of people coming. There's a lot of prep to do,
Yeah.
and there's minimal help.
Yeah. Yeah. So for myself, which I've noticed over the years, and I think I really noticed it last year, is obviously I with the fibromyalgia, the pain throughout the body, I can only stand for certain periods of time. So I really noticed it last year, where I would go and do one bit in the kitchen and then come and have a sit down, and then go back in and do something else and come and have a sit down. And that is what it was like right up until we were sat at the table eating, because then I then kind of relaxed then
Yeah,
because the food was done. I get brain fog as well. So there's things that I forget,
yeah,
and it's about remembering that. And I'm lucky in a way. My two go down to see their dad, and they used to go and see their grandparents and whatever on Christmas morning, every year, Christmas morning. So I then get that time to myself, so I can literally think about what I need to do.
mm,
But with the fibro, that has then changed over the past few years, and
yeah.
it's not as easy. It's not as easy.
I was going to ask you how you felt about that actually, because I'm just imagining. Um, Obviously, before you knew you had that, I imagine you're the type of person who was darting around, getting this, getting that, doing this, etc. And all of a sudden you had to break it up. So breaking it up, has that been deliberate, or does it just mean that? So basically, what I'm saying is, do you break it up on purpose, or do you just keep going until you can't?
Keep going till I can't. Well, yes and no. So I think when I first was diagnosed and you then start seeing these changes, I most probably just carried on until I can't. Whereas now I know that I'll start to feel the twinges and then think, go and sit down.
Okay.
So it's kind of deliberate, but it's not in a case of I'll do those veg and then I'll sit down. I might do the veg and then I might start doing something else. But if the pain starts to kick in, then I'll go and sit down.
Yeah.
Are you kind to yourself, Cecile Terry Long? No, most probably not.
I was,
I need to, I need to,
I was
I
going to
need
ask
to
you
be a
that
little
question.
bit kinder. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Marcia M. Spence, Stroke Williams. Yes, I know that. So one of our publisher. You got the book there. Our publisher of our books.
Oh, I have got books here. Give me 1 second.
She has fibromyalgia, and gosh, she's doing so many different things, always on the go. But had a fall last week. She had a fall, and obviously that's had an impact on how she feels, what she can do, and I need to recognize that. There's our books. If you don't know about our books, I don't know why you don't know. Life in a lockdown, life out of lockdown. We've still
If they
got
don't
them
know,
if you
they've
want
been
to
sleeping.
purchase.
If they don't know, they've been sleeping.
They've been sleeping since 2020. Yes. So yeah, I when I read her post, I just thought, oh, I need to be careful and I need to watch what I'm doing. So yes, it's I need to be a little bit kinder to myself. But that's okay. I can do that. What's Shelley put?
Yeah, a talk needs to happen around now about how the Christmas day is planned, what help is needed for preparations and cooking. Otherwise, they switch off to celebrate and you still need help.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That definitely can be the case. But then again, sometimes you get the opposite. So my next door neighbor, she's in her 80s, and so I'm like, "What are you doing for Christmas this year?" She says, "Oh, so just a little bit of context. Her grandson works for British Airways. Okay, so and he's had last 2 Christmases off, so this Christmas he's not getting it off, and but for her, she says, "Oh, Nikki, when I go down there, it drives me mad because they won't let her do anything before
Yeah.
she can breathe. She's got like the tea and toast is shoved in her hands, and I think it's only one thing. I think there's something particular that he likes that his gran makes, but other than that, she's waited on hand and foot, and it's a
Yeah.
lot for her. That in itself, I think she finds it stressful.
Yeah, because she's at home, she's on the go and
Yeah.
keeping herself moving so that, as an 80-year-old, she's still managing to do things. And then when she's with them, they take
Yeah.
all of that away from her.
So it is just that thing. So I think it kind of reminds me of what God, what's her name again from book one, from book two, the young girl Sherelle.
Yeah.
What Sherelle said when she wrote that one of the first long posts that she wrote, where she said that she was fed up with everybody assuming that lockdown is horrible for everybody.
Mm.
That she found it really. I think she kind of found it. What do you call it?
It really worked for her.
Yes, it did, didn't it? And it's that thing. So I think Shelley's right. It is the conversations, making sure everybody's heard, everybody can contribute. I suppose it should be a team effort, work to everybody's strengths, and that way. But we're talking about self-care, so we know that thing doesn't really happen in a lot of places.
Well, Dee said, if we don't slow down, the body will make us.
Well, there's that as well.
That's what happens. So what else have we got on that poll?
So we've got here about not spending too much money on gifts. So that was the top one, to be honest. One person there actually said they don't even care about gifts at all. But yeah, not spending too much on gifts, it was a big one. I mean, I think that also could be qualified because, you could spend this. Some people just buy gadgets. Some people buy loads of little stocking fillers. Some people just, do you know what I mean? It can vary, or it could be experiences. But I suppose if you don't have the funds, then you quite often feel yes. So I was just reading what Shelley put there. You can quite often feel a certain way if you do not have the funds to buy the kind of
Yeah.
presents that you feel you're expected to
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
and then the cycle starts again with all the pressure, the guilt, the all of those other things there.
Because some people are buying to possibly impress other people, but also, like you said, because they feel that that's expected of them and that they should be spending a certain amount of money. And and that isn't what Christmas is supposed to be about.
Mm,
It's
good.
not supposed to be like that, because that's just even more pressure you're putting on yourself. And it's, yeah, if somebody hasn't got any money, they buy me a bar of chocolate, wrap it up, that's fine. Because it's not supposed to be the value. It's more about spending time with people that you want to spend time with.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, some people put my friend this year, they have done, her and her husband are doing three things: something you can eat, something you can wear, something you can read. And it is, I want to say it's £30 for the lot, so £10 each on
Oh,
each
that's
of
really
those
good.
items. Yeah,
I think
and
I might
that's what
do
they've
that.
done. So ultimately, it's just the two of them, so they're not overspending, and they then get something that they actually like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
so
is
we've
really
got some
good.
more votes coming here. So we've got, not spending a lot on gifts is very high. The other one that I'd like as well is being selective about your activities. There's quite a lot there.
Yeah.
Um, Hang on, let me go in the other groups because there was some more that just came in there.
So the
Um,
be selective about your activities again is about self-care,
yes,
because you don't,
we've
for
got
some
another
people,
one.
it's not about filling up the whole of their days off. It's
Yeah,
about taking some time for themselves. But it
exactly.
might also coincide with that. Do you actually want to go to that event? And are
Um,
you going
I
because
think
you
that
feel
one
like
is more. I think that one is more strategic. When you're being selective about your friends, that's much more strategic. You can consider your health, well-being, etc., as opposed to just hard saying no,
Mm,
which could be an emotional reaction, which is fine. But that's that. We've got two saying no to family events. One just go with the flow, but the big one is not spending too much and being selective.
yeah.
And we have got one. Don't care. It's just another day. So that would be my husband if he won on that vote.
Is that how he sees it? It's just another day.
It, yes, but having said that, he can be quite generous as well. And there's also that thing as well where sometimes I don't know if this happens with you, but like you might get something during the year, you really like it and you enjoy using it, and then that becomes your idea for the gift for the other person.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And are you
but
thinking, no, you don't want that?
yeah.
Are
Oh
you
no,
putting
no,
that
no,
out
not at
there?
all. Yes. So we've got one here, a bit of clarity. It says self care plus doing what is right for you at the present time or
Mm,
moment, regardless if what makes you smile. So, well, I presume that's what the emoji meant. Yeah, I'm a kind of punctuation girl, so I might have got that a little bit wrong. But basically, it is that thing where you have to look after yourself.
exactly. Exactly.
So it is just that thing. But it is important to try to get people to see um, what
So,
that means. So we've got a saying in our, I believe it's cultural. I could be wrong, but so basically, when these issues come up, my first question is: so these people that are giving you this grief, that you're feeling this way, are they paying your mortgage? Are they paying your rent bill? Your rent bill? Are they doing A, B, and C? And 9 times out of 10, the answer to all those questions is no. So then the next thing is that. So if that with that being the case, why are you allowed them to get under your skin there? Because obviously you're able to stand on your own 2 feet within your rights, and you don't owe anybody anything. So anything else, anything that you are giving to people is extra, right?
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. We've got a couple here. So one of them is going to my mum's, so I'll be taking long walks through pine woods, sand dunes, and the beach. It's wonderfully empty in winter. I mean, that sounds really nice.
It
That's
does actually sound really nice.
yeah.
That person obviously doesn't live in the UK until I heard the words empty in winter.
So they do. They do.
Yeah.
So another one, it's about being pure fun. Prezzies are not compulsory, and reflection of the year is essential. I'm a
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa woman, more of what that stands for. Tell you where. All right. So okay. So that's where they are at as a person,
Yeah.
and for them, it is more about that fun and reflection rather than the commercial side of it, which is around prezzies and things like that.
Yeah.
So Shelley's put,
Yeah. I was gonna say, I was just reading that and I thought, yeah.
mindfulness is not just breathing exercises, which is true, they're not. Take your time whilst drinking your tea, your coffee, and having a biscuit. Think of the person you are wrapping the present for. Take a look around you while you're walking the shops to the shops or
Awesome.
to work. So it's about
Yeah.
thinking about things, isn't it? It's about focusing on not just, right, I need to get these presents wrapped so I can get them under the tree. It's about, I'm wrapping a present for this person. Let me think about that person whilst I'm doing that.
Yeah, I think it's where you're putting your focus. So, like a friend of mine the other day, she was going out. Then she says, "Oh, Nikki, I'll ring you back," and she didn't. And when I rang her back next day, I'm like, "You said you were going to call me." She said, "Oh, Nikki, the presents were all over the place, and it was doing her head in." So literally, she wrapped it. And that one, literally, it was because she wanted her sitting room to be clean and to be tidy. So I think, I see it as the same thing. I like the one about thinking about the person and stuff like that. That's kind of softer. But if you're not that way inclined, you can still think about the bonus of your house being tidy when you've done it.
I like this one. And my one right now is sitting down with the special Radio Times and my marker pen, what I want to record or watch.
Yeah. That is a good one because that is the one thing I quite often forget. And the one thing I do love a Christmas classic. So, and then I'll say, "Oh, I want to watch this when it comes on." And they're like, "It's on. It's been on." And I'm like, "Really? When was it on? How come I didn't know it was on?" So,
You
yeah.
need, look, she's got it. She's got it. Radio Times.
I wasn't even aware
Really
that
see
that was
them this
still a
time.
thing. That is actually still a thing.
Yes, it is, clearly.
Wow.
You never ever buy them any other time. Perhaps
Oh,
sometimes
really?
Easter. But yeah, I'll only ever buy an actual copy of for Christmas, and then you sit there and you work out what you want to watch live, what you want to record.
Yeah.
I might go and buy one of them just to do that so
That
that I
that
know
is a,
what's
that is a
on.
really good idea because sometimes when you're searching the internet, it comes up. It can be quite messy. Whereas that is all in one place and it's neat and it's tidy. Um, but yeah, I think the mindfulness one. I think that is a really good a good thing for everything that we have talked about. In the sense that what are you trying to achieve? Where what are you doing right now in that moment?
Yeah.
And
Also, going forward, it is as well, because actually we should be doing this every day. You should be taking that little bit of time when you're sat down having that cup of tea, or at least sit down to have the cup of tea.
yeah,
People are making a cup of tea as they're moving. Sit down for 5 minutes and
yeah.
have that cup of tea.
So that's quite interesting because I'm actually, I don't even know if it's a thing, but for me, mindfulness is all of those things that we've talked about, including the breath work and all of that stuff. But it's also, I was thinking about it today. So, for example, for the people who know, right, I did this epic weight loss thing there, and it's actually the 5th year anniversary. Okay. And what happened then when I was just getting to the peak and everything was kind of falling into place, where you're getting to the place where you want to stabilize, I broke my ankle, right? Right? You remember
Right.
that?
Yeah.
And which was fine, that was that. But then obviously certain things have rolled back. And I was thinking today, I said, well, what have I learned? And what I realized is that I was not mindful, as in the sense that, oh my God, woe is me, I broke my ankle, I can't do A, B, and C. Rather than thinking, okay, I broke my ankle, but that did not stop me from exercising the top half of my body. That did not stop me from thinking about, okay, you can still do A, B, and C. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that thing when you're in the moment, even though that moment can be really bad, you can still, obviously you have to deal with that bad. I'm not saying that, it's all relative, so please don't come for me, anybody, but you know what I mean? I know I spent too long on TikTok now. You're thinking, oh
When
my
you
God.
when you put something out there on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever, people are coming anyway.
I know. But
They got nothing else to do with them
in the back
people.
of my mind, I was just thinking, well, if somebody just heard really bad news, you can't be then telling them to smile and to think about that moment if that is not them. Just what I mean? That's why I said that. But my point is that if it is all about that moment, right? Okay, so I say, for example, you can't use all of these tools there that people have talked about, and you have to do certain things that you do not want, right? So then it, in my head, that's that thing that you're doing that you don't want to do can only become leverage, because it's not going to last forever. So you're thinking, right,
Yeah.
let me just stay in this moment, let me just deal with this, because when this is done, I'm going to sit down with my cup of tea and my Radio Times and remind myself of all those nice things that I'm going to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
As
But
a,
also, it's also about you learning from things, but
yeah,
also other people then learning from what has then happened with you. So I don't know, it must have been about 5-6 years ago, fell down about 3 or 4 steps from the bottom, just tapped my back slightly. Nobody got up out of their beds. My children didn't get there. Yeah. So I literally got myself up and went to work. Right. We have a cat, right? And this cat believes that anywhere in this house is where he can lay. So as the weather starts to change, he obviously comes up the stairs because it's warmer up here. So he will lay across the stairs, any which one, anytime. And I've been saying that one of us is going to fall. And then after your experience, I now make sure I put the light on because I know he's going to be there somewhere.
Yes.
I don't want to be having a broken ankle in 10,000 places. I don't want that. So after that, I'm very mindful of the stairs. Very mindful.
So you
When
see
it's before, I just run up and down and you think nothing of it.
Yeah.
Now I watch what I do, because with the fibro as well, my muscles and that are aching. So you then go down the stairs, you're not paying attention, and then he will then just run in between, or he'll be laying on one of the steps. So yeah, I have learned from what happened to you. I will make sure that's self-care. I need to make sure I don't fall on them stairs.
It is. It's Dave's got hair work with the cards you're dealt with. That's 100%. And the only way you can actually understand the cards you're dealt with is to be there in the moment, to see what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
It's just that thing. And life is so funny. It's so subjective. So,
What is a must watch? So for me, a must watch at Christmas is The King and I.
Yes.
That's my mum's.
You're my sister from another mother. I love the original one with your brother, right? Yes.
That's my mum. That's my mum's favourite. So I've watched that since I was so small, and we've watched it every year. Bugsy Malone. That is a must. That is a must. I like Miracle on 34th Street, but I actually like the newer one rather than the black and white one.
Oh, right. Okay. So I don't know of a black and white one. I just know it's got that little girl in it from Matilda. And I just love walking down the street in her red dress, getting happy Hanukkah. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this girl. Yeah.
There's a black and white one, which is only slightly different, but that's a must. And then Oh, for my brother, it is Doctor Who on Christmas Day,
All
which is
right.
not me, and don't shoot me. It's not
No,
me,
I
but that
we
is
were
on
talking about
every Christmas
Doctor Who
Day.
at work the other day, because yeah, it's like everybody loves it. I'm not bothered by it personally, but I just think,
How much I don't pay attention to Doctor Who is I only just realised by all these posts on social media that I think we've now got a black Doctor Who.
oh, we've had
Am I
women.
right? Am I wrong?
I don't know about a black one, but we've definitely
Yeah. The one that's going to be on Christmas Day, the Doctor Who is a black guy. I'm
wow.
positive it is. I'm positive it is.
Well, I'm sure Shelley will
What's
be
the
able to
must for
tell us.
you? What do you
For
need to watch?
me, so I do like I like those old classics there. So I love The Sound of Music is one. The Sound of Music because that was one of the few DVDs we had, VHSs we had when we got a VHS player in our house. So we know everything back to front, off by heart, but we still love it there. So I like Sound of Music, The King and I, um, Pretty Woman. I know that's not a Christmas one, but it's
Okay.
usually on at some point. So I do like watching Pretty Woman, even at least up until the point when she goes back and says "big mistake," and then I can
Yes.
switch over. Yeah, um, yeah, and then up there, there's just all other stuff like the crime stuff and stuff like that. Yes, Imitation of Life. That is one of my all-time favorites. Have you not seen it, Cecile?
Can you see that by my face?
Yeah. Oh my
I
God.
don't know. Who's in that then?
I don't know the people in it, but
Okay.
it is an amazing story. There are so many lessons in there. And oh my God, you've got to watch it. That's what I
Okay.
would say. Don't let me even spoil it for you. I love that film. It's just, and it's this thing, there's a lot of things about assumption there, people assuming involved. Oh my God, what's the woman's name? Oh, the Doctor Who. Who's that? Oh, he's a bit of a hunk,
That's the
isn't
Doctor
he? Oh my God.
They asked me to pronounce his name because my mate even says it, and I kind of look at it. Nawati Gatwa.
Oh right, okay. Is that NW?
No, NCICUTI.
Who.
All right.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah. He's been in the wings for quite a long while.
Has he?
Yeah, yes.
See, I didn't even know that until I just kept seeing all these posts around. Ooh, and I'm like, ooh, have we got a black Doctor Who?
The 15th Doctor, I believe.
Yes, I heard that. Yes, yeah. Maybe we'll get a black James Bond.
I don't think so.
Putting it out
I
there.
want a black James Bond.
We
I
need a
don't.
black James Bond.
Why?
We do need a black because I'd like to see one.
I think that's a conversation for another show.
That's another show. That's another show. Okay. So, Imitation of Life is where that woman, the daughter, pretends not to be a person of colour, and then when the mum dies,
Yeah,
she
all of a
goes
sudden,
up and she's crying
well,
and
it's
yeah.
not just that though. You see, it's funny that that's the bit that you focus on. Although I say that she actually makes use of her proximity to whiteness, but
Mm,
maybe that's modern language. But what I found interesting was those women, the mothers, they met on the beach as equals in
yeah,
a similar situation, and then all of a sudden, over the years, the black woman became the maid.
yeah.
And there was that, and then there was that thing there when they were talking about funerals, and the woman says, "Well, who would come to your funeral?" And the woman said, "Well, like my friends will come, my friends from the church and all these places." So they'd spend all that time together. She'd not bother to find out anything about her. Ah, a mother's love, honestly.
I need to watch that again. I need to watch that again with a different open my eyes with a different mindset.
Yeah,
It's not something I think I've only seen it maybe once before. It's
I've
not
seen it
something
a
that
couple of
I
times.
watch,
Yeah.
but I will, Dee Bailey, be watching that
So
again.
I think we need to right, these tools that we've mentioned, I think we need to put them all in one place so that people don't think
Okay.
we're just sat here having a giggle.
Yes,
You
because we
know,
need to wrap up. So
yeah.
go on then.
So I was gonna say, for me, I would say it's all about being able to say no when you want to without
Yep.
feeling guilty. You don't have to spend more than you have, or in fact, you don't have to spend anything if you don't want to. So basically, it's all about that one that I read out there about doing what suits your needs, not in a selfish way, but in a way that allows you to be more present when
Yeah.
you are going to be there, and about being strategic. And I like Dee's one as well, and Shelley's one about making sure you know you can make use of the cards you've dealt with, but be mindful about them so you know what you're dealing with. And yeah, and then for me, in those situations, I'd always say that you're going to use it as leverage, in the sense that being there in that moment is what's going to get you to the next place. Yeah.
And I think it's also remembering that what at the forefront of a lot of people is it's Christmas, it's about family, it's about eating, it's about drinking, it's about all of that stuff. But actually, your friends may be your family.
Yes.
You know, it's who you would like to spend that time with.
Yes.
And they don't have to have a label of family or friends or whatever. It's just
Yeah.
who you want to be with. And taking time out to watch Die Hard, which is a Christmas film, even though
I had as well.
that becomes a 50-50. Is it Christmas? Is it not? He's trying to get home for Christmas, isn't he? Or some such.
I don't think all the Die Hards are set at Christmas, but I do particularly remember the one where his wife was on the plane. I do believe that was the one was about Christmas.
So
yeah. And I think they'll definitely all be on anyway now, because may he rest in peace. He's gone, hasn't he? So
who?
Bruce Willis.
Is he dead?
Yes.
When?
A few weeks ago.
Are you sure?
Oh my God, you're making me feel.
I don't know, Shelley.
Miss Producer, help us out here. Oh my God.
I don't think he's dead. Shelley Titmus, where are you?
I'm searching. There's nothing been said officially. There is gossip that it has happened.
Oh.
But there's nothing that's actually then physically actually put out there.
Oh, maybe I fell for a hoax then.
He withdrew from like being out in the public, and then his wife changed how she was doing her posts, and the family changed how they were doing the posts. So what's happened is that you haven't actually then got anything that's him physically there. So the stories are there that he's died, but nothing's come from them.
Oh, okay. Because I'm sure I saw his daughter Tallulah putting a post up the other day with her with him.
It was a hoax. It was a hoax.
Right.
There was. So they're
not putting a picture of him up. They're only putting pictures of hands and things. So where they're with him,
right?
There's nothing. So it's generated all these stories about different things. So nothing's actually come from them as to how bad his dementia's actually then got. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was told the person, my normal celebrity gossip person, told me this. So I'm gonna have to go back.
They jumped the gun, didn't they? He's not. He might be poorly, but he's not dead yet.
Thank God for that.
He's not dead yet. Because otherwise, if he was, we would have seen all the Die Hard films. They'd have been all on the telly this week. Yeah. So he's still there. He's still there.
Die Hard film is Christmas, because he goes home to his wife, or is on again, off again wife. She's hosting the company that she works for is the Tower.
Yeah.
On the top floor, and it's a Christmas party.
Yeah.
And that's when Hans Gruber goes in and is then trying to steal stuff from the company. Right. So that's why it's all at Christmas.
So it is a Christmas film.
So it's a Christmas film. It's based. It's nothing to do with Christmas, but it's based at Christmas.
Exactly. So before we finish, kind of need to put a little. Since we're talking about films, should not be saying this. Well, you've put it out there now, haven't you? So you need to stay tuned need to stay tuned because the new version
Yes,
of the
the new
Colour
colour
Purple
purple.
is
I know, I'm
coming
so
out
excited about that. Oh my
in
God.
January. In January, and
Excited about that.
we are going to be doing a screening.
Oh my God. I'm so
So
excited.
stay
Please don't do it
tuned.
on the 4th of February. Please don't do it on the 4th of February.
What are you saying, Nico?
I said, please don't do it on the 4th of February.
No, it says January.
Yeah, I know it's coming out in January, but you know, who knows when it might be the end of January.
Where are you going to be on the 4th of February?
It's the Midlands Championships.
Oh, right. So we won't be doing it on the 4th of February. We won't. Because you've
I'm
said
just
that
talking
aloud,
about-
and it's just
I'm-
not fair if we now pick that date.
Isn't it?
No. So, okay.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
look, 26th of Jan.
Can I just quickly say something? You know, when we've talked about self-care at Christmas, yeah, we haven't really focused on the people who don't want to be alone at Christmas as well. You know, like the loneliness and all of those things there. I mean, I know that is a big thing and it could probably be a show in its own right, but I just wanted to put it out there that we are thinking about you guys as well, that we're not ignoring you. It's
So
just
maybe what we do, because I know next week is going to be I'm actually, I'm not saying that. So next week's show we could talk about that then, and maybe in between we could then find out what things are available, like Sally Army, those kind of things where people can go and get something to eat. So we
Yeah.
could talk about that next week, and if anybody knows of any different organizations, just let us know, drop it on our page, and then we can then share that out to those, because it's all well and good we're talking about spending loads of money and all of this business. There are people out there who are actually on their own, and not necessarily on their own because they want to be on their own.
Yeah.
But that is due to circumstances. So let's have a look at that next week. So yeah, wonderful. Next week, this week. See, that is called Fibo Fog. All right. You literally got all these different dates and everything. So this week, Thursday, is the Life in a Lockdown Zoom. Register. Go on and register and come and say hello. Just come and say hello and see what we're doing.
You guys always
starts at
before I
7.
can get on there. That's the problem. It's not like before when I would be on there
She's
driving back
busy,
from
isn't she?
Taekwondo. Huh?
Busy.
Look, man,
Always
there's
busy.
only one life, isn't there?
Well, there you go.
So
There you go. But make sure you do some self-care. You can't be too busy all the time. You've got to do
I'll tell you what self-care I did, right? So because obviously you know how I am with work and stuff like that, and I knew that for myself. And these days, I knew that I needed the time off because I was struggling with timing, and then I just thought, oh my God, how am I going to be on Wednesday when I go back to work? And I had 1 hour's annual leave left, 1 hour. So I'm like, Shopra, please, I need to start work at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. So that was that for my mental, because the idea of sitting in that traffic was already would give me chip, and I find it really stressful. So yeah, that was
And that's
myself.
what you did. You used that 1 hour.
Yeah.
You used that 1 hour and you used it for something that is going to work for you.
Yeah.
Excellent. So let's wrap this up then. As usual, if you listen on catch up, let us know, drop us a message. And obviously next week, if you've got any ideas, you know of any organizations that are doing Christmas dinner or something like that, let us know, because we'll put some of those out for anybody, because it might be that actually your next door neighbor or somebody that you know could do with that information, but they're not on social media. You could pass it on to them. So we just want to share some of that info out there. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with me, Nika.
Oh, it's been fun. It has been absolute fun. And thank you for helping me with my watch list, because I think I need to be a bit more strategic about it, because otherwise I just end up missing everything. So thank you, Shane, for the tip about the Radio Times.
We're all going to go down to the shop in a minute and go and get a Radio Times.
That's funny.
Right, so we will see you next week, same time, 12 noon. Have a lovely week and take care. Self-care.
Thank you for
All about
watching.
self-care.
Let us know if you watch on the replay, and then
Yeah.
we'll answer any questions or anything that you might have. So
Wonderful.
much love. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.